Hey guys. Now I haven't been over here in forever, so you will have to tell me if you can hear me or you can hear anything else. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Come on, YouTube. Okay, I see me, but the thing's on mute so I don't echo. How are you guys? Can anybody hear me yet? Hello, hello, hello. Now my nose is going to itch. There we go. All right. That looks like we're working. Is everything loud enough? We good? If we're not, I'm screwed. Nobody's here. Xander and me are the only ones home. Everybody's gone, so the house is quiet. Good deal. Hope everybody had a good Easter or whatever you celebrate, Passover. I know we just passed Ramadan and stuff like that. My son's boss was celebrating Ramadan, and I've got to say that's probably the worst job to have if you're fasting and you're running a restaurant and you have to work. I don't know how they do it. I would kill over. Not really, but yeah. My Easter was really quiet. Let's see. My dad had surgery a little over a month ago and had like a few complications in it. So I called mom and was like, what time are we going to do dinner? Because everybody always comes here with my family. Everybody comes here because I've got room. And she was like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do it this year. It's just, I don't think dad's up to it. Maybe you're not. I don't know. And it was like, okay. I mean, it's not like he's not in the hospital or anything. I'm like, well, he can sit on my couch as well as he can sit on his own, I guess. But if y'all don't want to do it, all right. So it was just us. It was me and Dan and the three monsters and Ginger begging under the table the whole time. So mom called that Easter morning. All week, I expected her to call and say, yeah, we changed our mind. We're going to do it. You know, and that's just what I expected. And she didn't. And I was like, okay, I guess we are just going to do it with us. And she called me Easter morning and she said it took everything I had not to laugh when she said it because it was so funny. She said, I'm really glad we decided not to come over and do Easter. I was like, okay, thanks. I know that's not how she meant it, but that's how I took it. I'm so glad we didn't come over. We didn't do all that. I was like, okay. So we had, it was a pretty quiet day. I mean, we still cooked dinner and stuff. We had ham, the whole shebang. And the fair is in town here, and all the boys wanted to go. And so since it was a holiday and everybody was off, we I let them go. Dan took them, dropped them off, gave them money. It's in the parking lot of the mall, which is only 5 minutes away or whatever. And the movie theater is there too. And so they did the carnival for a little bit, and then they went and watched some movie. I don't remember what it was. Something about a video game. I know it's not Overwatch. What was it called? I don't know. I haven't been to the movies in like, I don't even know, 7 years, 6 years. Because when I became legally blind or whatever, I thought it was a waste of time. I used to go all the time. We used to go like every weekend, but I haven't done that in a while. So what are you guys up to? Did you guys have a good Easter? Now that I've caught up with all this. But anyway, the kids had a really good time, and they brought me on a funnel cake. Actually, it was an elephant ear and it had strawberries on it, and it was really good. me and Dan split it, and Ginger got part of it because me being diabetic, I don't need all that. But it was nice to have a real carnival funnel cake, All right, Stephanie. Okay, so who else here? I didn't do that yet. I feel so out of practice. We got Kathy, we got Stephanie, we've got Kate C, we've got, I don't recall, a rotary dial, Bev, yeah, Lori Jo Carroll. My goodness. I swear I don't know how you guys put up with me being gone as much as I am. But it has been a pretty good and bad. I've fallen into this weird cycle and we can't figure out what it is. I'm getting really bad migraines and they're lasting for 4 or 5 days at a time. The last day or two, I start throwing up. The headache goes away, and then I'm throwing up sick, can't keep anything down for like 4 or 5 days. And then I might get a little window of 3 or 4 days. I don't think I've had 4 days in a row that were good, but where I don't have anything wrong with me. And then that's when I'm trying to catch everything up. And then my schedule is screwed up because I can't sleep. The insomnia is awful. But they're telling me that they can't figure it out. There's nothing in my labs. I don't get a fever. It's not contagious. Nobody else has it. And it just keeps happening over and over and over. So I have not been able to, I can't turn on this ring light if I've got a migraine. I mean, it just is awful. So I'm not a hypochondriac. I'm not one of those people that goes like WebMD and I have a toothache and then I figure out I've got some really rare form of cancer. I'm not one of those. I got enough crap that's really wrong with me to do that to my brain. But you know how your computer kind of listens to you? Like you'll talk about something, you won't do a search for it, you'll never type it in, but all of a sudden you'll start getting ads for it, for that kind of thing. So that's what I have. So I've been talking to people about what the heck is wrong with me, my mom and Dan, the boys, different stuff like that, just in the house. And all of a sudden, I start getting fibromyalgia commercials, medicines. Do you need to be diagnosed? Blah, blah, blah. And so I looked into it and was like, wow, I do actually have all of those symptoms. So the next trip to the doctor will be me at 39 saying, do I have fibromyalgia? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's got to go. So my iPad bit the dust one night at like 4:30 in the morning. Just went. It's gone. So then I was sending out emails because you guys email me and stuff, and I usually respond to comments and everything. And everything I got a new tablet. Everything I was doing was being held in the to be sent later. And I couldn't get it to go out of the outbox. It was just sitting there piling up. And so I keep getting like emails. Are you okay? We're kind of worried about you. It's not like you to, not answer or haven't heard anything. Like, are you in the hospital again? And it's like, I'm so frustrated because I'm emailing them as soon as they email me. And I'm like, just go. And so I had to have Dan come and look at it and figure out what was going on. And don't ask me what it was, but all of a sudden everybody probably got like 10 emails that emailed me all in one day. And so there was that. So I use my iPad to make thumbnails and a little bit of editing when I do videos or whatever. And that's where I schedule all my stuff. So I had all of my files from Canva saved as pictures on my iPad. So that's why today's live doesn't have my usual Hearsay icon, because I have to figure out how to put it on this thing. So But all my links, everything that I used to put in the description box and junk like that is all, not to count the pictures, like family pictures and stuff, because I've kept an iPad for, geez, how long? 10, 10 years or so now. So they all just got to get transferred over. They're all in the cloud. I guess I can pull it off and do that, but it's going to be a pain in the butt. And I didn't know any of my passwords because I always make Apple make me a safe password. And then I switched. I did not buy, and I didn't buy an iPad this time. I looked at it, and a brand new one was $1,700, and I'm like, no, not today, not today, Satan. Not today. I don't know, Karen. I just now saw that. I thought that said, "Do you have COVID?" And I was like, "Been there, done that." But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but the hard part is it took a toll on my physical therapy because I can't, throwing up and everything else. I couldn't stand up. So, not that I was doing that a great amount anyway. So, my physical therapist discontinued me and said, "You've got to figure out what's wrong with you because we keep scheduling or trying to schedule and you're sick all the time." So, we got to figure out what's wrong with that. Um, I guess there's some new medicines on the market too. I'm supposed to be on biological medicine because I have Crohn's, and I haven't. They took me off of it, I guess 2 years ago in March when I had my toe amputated, which I don't usually say. I usually just call it my weight loss surgery. Might not have been much, but every little bit counts. I told my nephew this little piggy went to market and didn't want to come home. But it beats COVID. I feel better than I did 7 months ago. Has it been that long? September? Jeez. It's just changed so much. Everything I do is different. The way I think about things, everything is different. COVID really kicked my butt. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But I'm home. I made it. So, hello, Flame Lily and Trisha. Yeah, I'm going through a lot. It's not fun, but if you took everybody you knew and everybody threw their problems out in the middle of the floor, you'd probably take yours back. So there's a lot of people that are a lot worse. I've been a lot worse. So you take the good days as when you can. So I kind of put myself on I had to make a decision about the channel. And I'm like, either you're going to do it or you're not. We're not going to half do it anymore. Either come back and do what you're supposed to do something different, or quit. One or the other, because it causes me more anxiety than anything. And it's from after you've missed a couple of weeks or you're having really bad days and you only get a few good days, you don't want to you want to enjoy your family or, whatever you need to do. And then it's like, do I really want to go put all the time into making a video? So, since I got back from COVID, I haven't done any videos. I just do lives and I talk to you guys. But I decided, I'm going to keep it. There will probably, I'm debating changing a little of the content. It might not all be true crime related anymore, but I finally got back into watching cases again. So I don't know what you guys have been watching, but as far as kid cases, Anthony Todt his trial just went quick. I was surprised how quick that trial went. Every bit of it is on YouTube. Long Crime has I think it's only 4 days. They had openings, um, and really most of the testimony was pretty dry. I mean, like half of the prosecution's case is the 911 dispatcher, um, the aunt that called and reported him missing, the cops who did the wellness visits over and over and over, that kind of thing. There was one person that talked about, the forensic person did the crime scene photos, which I'd already seen. Those were out not long after it happened. This happened like 2 years ago, guys. December of 2019. And then we didn't hear anything. Dude confessed. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Anthony Todt is a guy from Celebration, Florida, which is the community that Walt Disney put together. There's a few of them, and they have really strict guidelines on who can live there. The houses, you can only pick between certain models of houses. You can't build your own house, any of that kind of stuff. Most everybody there is a family, so it's kind of like Pleasantville, like a small little community where everything's perfect. Everybody has 2.5 kids and a dog and a picket fence and $1 million house. And you can sit on your back porch and watch the fireworks from Disney. So this case rocked me when it happened. They reported, the aunt called a wellness check-in. We haven't heard from Megan, his wife, or any of the kids. They're missing stuff, and it's holidays. They're homeschooled kids. They do. They all play instruments. They had recitals the day before he killed them. Megan had his wife had a lot of health problems, a lot. She had Lyme disease, the whole shebang. So they finally came. They were from Connecticut originally. They moved down here. They had a condo and they had this house. They were trying to get rid of the condo because they had gotten in the house. And so the police kept going back and forth between the house and the condo, trying to catch somebody because they didn't see anything. They had no idea where he was. So eventually they started just sitting on the house, and they saw him come in and go. And though they beat on the door and all that stuff, and he didn't let them in, and so they kicked the door in or whatever. And they said as soon as you opened the door, you could smell it, and they knew it was bad. He is absolutely crazy. They did show the body cam footage just of him. Thank God you didn't walk through the house. It was really reminiscent of Chris Watts, because what you did see when they first walked in the house, there's this huge staircase that goes up or whatever. But they have a formal dining room. It's over $1 million house, and it's for sale right now, which really I was surprised about. I wondered if Disney would make them bulldoze it, but it's for sale. Right now it's for sale for like $1 million, like 1.2 million, 1.1 million, somewhere in there. And let me see. So they had 3 kids. A little girl was the youngest. I think she was 3 or 4. I think she was 4. 4, 8, and 13, I think, were the boys. And then Megan. And he was in the house, and he's completely, whether he's acting or not, I don't know, but he's belligerent. Like, he doesn't know where he is. They're asking him where his family is, and they're like, oh, I don't know where the kids are. My wife was asleep up here. Don't wake her up. And all of their bodies, including the family dog, were in the master bedroom. He put them on mattresses and drug all of them in one room. And so they died before Christmas, and they did not pick him up until January 14th. And you see him waddling out the house. He was a very big guy. So when I saw the actual trial, I'd missed. This trial was supposed to happen last year, but with COVID, everything got pushed and pushed and pushed. So I had been watching for this. I had not seen that it was going to trial last week, or week before last, whenever it did. So I've watched it. They didn't have a medical examiner, so none of that came in. They played, let's see. So when it happened, about 6 months after it happened, they released a phone call from jail where he called his sister, and it pissed me off so bad because she kept saying, "What is going on, Todd? What happened, Anthony? Tony, they'll call him Tony. What happened? Mom wants to know what happened," or whoever. And he's like, "I can't talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about it. Don't ask me." And so he tells the whole conversation, and I think it was almost an hour long, 45 minutes long, is him telling his sister where extra keys to the house and the condo are, and where all the valuables are, and how to get them. That's all he spoke about. That's it. How to get the stuff out of the house before they took it away from him. I just, it made me so mad. So then they released like crime scene photos, and obviously those were blurred out in certain things, but what you could see was absolutely horrific. So I thought the medical examiner testifying would be horrific. They didn't have a medical examiner unless I missed it. I watched all 4 days. I didn't even see them talk about it. But he confessed. There's an hour-long video that they played. And I want to say there was another one that was released not long after it happened, because I remember certain things that weren't in that video. So I know of at least a couple of interviews that they released way back when, in 2020. And I mean, he confessed. He talks about how he did it, why it happened, the whole shebang. And then out of nowhere, he decides to say, "I lied. None of that's true." Also like Chris Watts, he says that his wife was going through a really bad health crisis. She had started a new, he kept calling it an East-based religion. They were all raised Catholic, and now she is into Hinduism and Buddhism. I'm live. What do you need? Okay, you be quiet then. Sorry, Dan's home. Don't let Ginger in here. Yeah. Anyway, it's a horrific case. He is an absolute crazy person. So when you see him in the courtroom this time, he's probably lost 150 pounds. It doesn't look like him. If you put him in a lineup, I wouldn't have picked him out. He lost a lot of weight. And it was such a night and day comparison to like his interviews when it happened and what he's saying now. He did, like all great, crazy, narcissistic people, testified in his own trial. Bad idea. He's very well spoken. You would think he had been in solitary confinement. It was like he'd never talked to people in his life before, because they would ask him a yes or no question, and he would go off on this 15-minute tangent. The prosecutor wasn't having it. Not the judge, but the prosecutor wasn't having it. She kept saying, "Objection, unresponsive. We don't need the narrative. That's not what they asked." And that was while his own lawyer was questioning him. So she really didn't put up with it when it was time to cross-examine the guy. They just kept cutting him off and kept cutting him off. But he says now that he came home. I mean, it's just such a stupid story that he went down to the condo to put Christmas presents together, a bike, and this and that and the other. And then he came home the next day, and his wife is crazy and tells him that she's killed all the kids and she's going to kill herself, and that he did not see the kids die. He checked on them all. He tried to clean them up, tried to close their eyes. He couldn't find a phone, so of course he didn't call 911 or anything like a normal person would do. And then he said he heard a noise and she had stabbed herself in the stomach twice, and that she begged him not to die. And since he loved her so much, he stayed with her. And then this whole 3-week ordeal with he doesn't ever call the police. They catch him. And he stays in this house with their bodies for almost 3 weeks. And the dog. But I mean, like, he's telling the police that he laid on his kids. I mean, dude was big. He was a big guy. He's probably 350, 400. He's a big old guy. That he laid on them and smothered them one by one. And then gave them all, the story went, he drugged them all with Benadryl so they would sleep. And then suffocated them and then stabbed them. I don't know. But so now that he's in court, he is the father, husband, man of the year. And that she really killed the kids and then killed himself. And he promised her as she died that he would take the blame for it. I mean, it's so stupid. It is the stupidest story you've ever heard in your life, ever, with every detail crammed in until somebody cut him off and said, that's not the question you were asked. He just went and went and went and went. And then, obviously, the jury came back really quick, guilty, all counts. And then he goes to sentencing automatically because they're in Florida. Why they didn't go for the death penalty, I don't know. They should have. They should have went for the death penalty, and they didn't. Especially since they had 2 years to do this without COVID. Dude admitted it. I mean, that would be the easiest. He didn't take a plea. That would have been the easiest slam dunk case ever for a death penalty in Florida. Megan's aunt had a witness statement there at the end, and you could tell, their family was really tore up. Megan's mom and dad were still alive in their upper 90s. They were a very close-knit family, and I don't know. You witness impact statements are usually pretty awful. I was surprised how well she read it. She didn't have a lawyer read it. She spoke from her heart. She didn't just read it off a paper. Just what a waste. And it bugged me because where it was, it being, a Disney community. Everybody that was around them had small kids, and everybody knew everybody. So their kids had played in the backyard with all of the neighbors and the dogs, and that's a whole nother set of victims that this guy caused. Not just their family, just everybody. His whole community was so sad. And I was surprised. I was surprised to see that they put the house on the market this week. It's been up 2 weeks, 13 days. They put it up. I couldn't buy it. But watching the body cam footage reminded me of them walking through the house with Chris Watts when Nicole had called him in. Because, every room was decorated. You saw the kids' stuff. They didn't show the body cam footage upstairs with the bodies or anything. I mean, the house was beautiful. It reminded me of Shanann, the way she decorated, and the house was beautiful. And, he just wrecked his whole life. And for what? I mean, it never did. Why? Why do it? I don't know what the motive was. It definitely wasn't because he had a new girlfriend. So why? It's just awful. It's awful. Just awful. So that is on Law and Crime. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll probably make a video going over some different things about it this week. Just to have see if I can make a video again. COVID does stupid stuff to your brain. I can't remember nothing anymore, which are stupid. I'm talking about Anthony Todt, the Celebration, Florida man that killed his wife, 3 kids, and the dog. So the judge threw the book at him. He got up there and wanted to talk to the court himself after the victim impact statements. And all he did was tell his side of the story again. His lawyer stopped him twice and said, "This will all be in the post-sentencing report. You don't need to do this." "No, I want him to know before he sentences me that I'm innocent, blah, blah, blah." And they keep saying, he has to give you nothing you're saying is going to change the way he sentences you. It's 4 lifetime murders, no possibility of parole. There is. He threw the book at him. He gave him, everything he could, even for killing the dog. To be served consecutively. So that man will never see Disney World again. Promise. It was wild though. If you like to watch trials but you don't like the squeamish stuff, this one is not bad. It's not bad. And it's quick. I was surprised they went that quick. So the other trial that I'm watching, no, the head in the pot guy is here in Knoxville. This guy he's a physical therapist. His wife was a physical therapist. They had the house in Florida, and he killed her, all 3 of his kids, with Benadryl suffocation, and then stabbed them and killed the family dog and stayed in the house for 3 weeks with their bodies. No, yeah. The guy who cut his mom's head off and killed his dad and dismembered him, and the head was in the pot, was here in Knoxville. Yeah. Now, this one happened it happened in December of 2019, and then it went nationwide about halfway through January of 2020. So a lot of people probably didn't see a lot of it because what you saw in the news then was COVID. By the time there was anything to report, we're heading into March and April. And then the court system pretty much shut down with COVID. So, yeah. I still got to get, we still got Letitia Stout coming up. I need to get back on that and see if they have a better day. I know they have another day set. I know her lawyer asked for an extension. Can't imagine why. Letitia's cooperating. I don't think we're going to see that one, guys. I don't think we're going to see it. I think they're going to do just like they did with what's his name? Patrick Frazee. Same county. They're not going to let cameras in the courtroom, I bet. It's just too horrific. And as crazy as she's been in her little instances in court are crazy. I mean, she's nuts. I don't think they're going to give them a camera in the courtroom. I don't think they will. I mean, we'll hear about it just like we did Patrick Frazee. Somebody that was in the courtroom will talk, give an interview to YouTubers or, whoever, and talk about what happened during that day. We'll hear about it, but I don't think we're going to see it. What else? Oh, Daybells. I guess they've decided now collectively that Lori is okay to go to court. color me shocked. What did shock me was that the judge denied a separation of the cases. That surprised me. I really thought they were going to be severed and then put in another county. Um, I don't know. I guess his old prior is trying to refile that again. Get them to change their mind, I guess. Um, I don't know. I don't like joint trials. It probably saves money in a way, but I don't like them. Um, See, we watched The Groves. It was Daniel and Jessica Groves. They killed their baby. That was a joint trial. It, that one was horrific. Um, the one that was the weirdest with the joint, no, not the weirdest, but the Rosenbaums had a joint trial. And I think if they had, and that was their own fault, they were going, the judge had separated them and they took it all the way to the Supreme Court to say they wanted the same lawyer and the same trial together, which was a bad idea because I think if um, the husband, I can't think of his name, Jennifer and I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name now. Anyway, if he had had a different trial with a different lawyer, I don't think he would have gotten half of the sentence that he did. She was ridiculous. I mean, we knew she was going to get everything thrown at her. She was a terrible, and I didn't like. We called her the Mullinator, the defense lawyer. She was terrible. I hated her too. Um, Joseph, Jennifer and Joseph Rosenbaum. That's who it was. The craziest joint case has to be one that's come back recently, and that's God, what is her name? Her sentence just got overturned. Um, the baby's name was Kalia, but the dude with all the tattoos on his face. Do you know what I'm talking about? I didn't do this. That's what she said over and over, and he got caught in a turtle suit, and apparently it was like feeling himself pretty good in front of the psychologist, and they put him in solitary confinement. What is his name? McNabb. Uh, Courtney Bell and something McNabb. So something about her sentence has been overturned, and they're going to resentence her. Um, that trial was nuts. That trial was nuts. When you have to break out a family tree chart and leave it up during the whole trial, and the thing is straight as an arrow, and there are no limbs, you know it's a bad day. Bad day. Okay, so anyway, back on the Daybells. I'm just calling them Daybells now because from the experiences that I've had with Cresha and her parents and that family, they don't deserve uh, to be attached to Lori as a Vallow. I'm going to call her Daybell. Plus, they fought tooth and nail when they got arrested to call her Mrs. Daybell because they were married legally. So now she's going to be good. Now she wants to go back to Vallow. And I think I would look at her and say, what God has put together, let no man tear asunder. You're Daybell, girl. Oh, goodness. I still would have given my left arm to have been a fly on the wall when they told her that her blue-eyed angel boy is no longer her lawyer. I would have given a lot to have seen that. A lot. But we called it. I'm still waiting to see if he's going to get disbarred, to be quite honest. Kind of surprised we ain't heard that. It probably takes a little bit longer. So that's Anthony Todt. There's really nothing else going on much. Well, the Daybell stuff will start getting moving now, and I'll probably catch back up with it. I'm still mad they haven't arrested anybody else, but we'll see. We will see. So the thing that I'm watching this week, I don't know if you guys are watching it. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, the defamation trial. How are you guys watching that one? Hi, Paula, Sandy, and Kathy. Are you guys watching the Johnny Depp stuff? It's a special interest to me because, my mom founded and ran a domestic violence shelter. We did that stuff for 10 years. So anytime there's like a domestic violence thing, it sticks out to me. It's crazy though. Like, I'm telling you, day 2 of that trial, I have never laughed during a trial so hard. I can't think of one. Like, before this, the funniest thing I'd ever seen in a trial was the Rosenbaum trial, when they had the defense team had a separate medical examiner, expert witness come in. Do y'all remember that? And he kept scooting his chair up until he fell out of the sand. And he's like, I'm okay. I mean, like, he falls, flips the chair over, feet butt over tea kettle, like kicking in the back. When I have a bad day, I will go look that up sometimes. I'm just saying. So, Johnny Depp's suing Amber Heard, his ex-wife, for defamation because she accused him and wrote an op-ed in the New York Times about Johnny. She alleges that Johnny beat her, like, pictures, the whole shebang. And then it got really ugly. Like, it struck on forever. This happened, the time they're talking about is like 2016. I'm sorry. If I'm not a Johnny Depp fan. When this came out, I was like, I'm not watching another thing he's in. That was just me automatically. If he beats some woman, I ain't giving him any money, I never was a big fan of him, but you guys, day 2, the first day, the person that testifies is his sister, and she was his personal assistant who kind of went up and up and up. So when he started his production company, she started taking on her own projects. She wasn't just an assistant anymore. She was an exec of a production company. So she testified, and some of it, it was a good testimony. She liked Amber for whatever reason, and she talked about her and Johnny's early life with their parents. There was some abuse there. His mom, it actually went the other way. His mom was very abusive, not his dad. And so, that's always sad when you hear about people who have horrific lives, So she testified, and that was fine. It was a long one. It was all of day 1 and then part of day 2. So when she came off of the stand, they called in, you guys, they called in a man that Johnny Depp has been friends with for 40 years, okay? They ended up moving to Florida about the same time and were neighbors, and they met, and they became friends. And then Johnny went off to California. This guy went to New York for a little bit of time, and he sounds like a New Yorker. I was surprised he said he was from Florida. And then came to LA and met back up and hit it off again with Johnny. So he says, well, I was a painter, I was a painter. And I was selling paintings for like $100 a thing. And, Johnny thought that I really had a talent, and so he became my patron. So Johnny packed him up, moved him. They had the penthouse, the top level floor. It wasn't just a penthouse. There was 5 or 6 apartments on the top floor of this building. I keep wanting to call it the Dakota, but that's not it. That's in New York where John Lennon was shot. Um, I forget what the name of the building is. It's really famous. So Johnny owns the top part of this thing, and he starts moving in family, friends, whoever. Nobody's paying rent. Nobody's paying bills. Nobody's doing nothing. Every bit of it is going to Johnny. Not because they were, being mean or anything. That's just what they said. That's what Johnny did. Anybody needed anything, Johnny gave them the absolute best. And it would have, I think at one point he says it would have been insulting if he tried to pay him back. Okay. So this guy's name is Isaac Bruges. Something like that. It's a weird kind of last name. So he's talking about Johnny wants to put me in this building and he doesn't want me to work and he wants to pay me so I can put together a collection of work and that we can show it in an art gallery and I'll make a bunch of money. But he just wants me to paint. And they said, okay, so how long did you guys plan on it taking? Oh, I figured, 100 paintings, I could do it in like 2 months. And I was like, what? It's been like 6 years at this point, longer than that. 7, 8 years. And so, me being the curious person that I am, I went and looked up the guy's artwork. Okay. You guys just Google Johnny Depp's painter friend and you will find this guy's Instagram. You can look it up under his name. It's Isaac Bruch. Baruch, I think is how he spelled it. You find this guy's Instagram page. I cannot open that and show it to you. You talk about my jaw was on the floor. When you see what this guy is painting, you are going to pee your pants. Don't open it if you've got kids in the room. Don't. Trust me. Trust me. So, that aside, okay, he is the funniest witness I have ever seen in a trial, ever in my life. He is so dang funny. So, what did you like? One of my favorite ones. So, did you like Amber Heard when you met her? Oh, I fell in love with her. He's got that New York accent. I fell in love with her like Johnny did. She was great. She was generous to me, and she had nice teeth. And so he was good about answering the question and then throwing a little shade at people. Like, he was good. So it was a very long, he was interviewed for a while, and the stuff. So when her lawyer came up to cross-examine him, he had said the day that she had said that Johnny had hit her, he heard something in the hallway, and he went out in the hallway, and she and her friend were standing in front of the door, which was open, of another one of their friends. And he was like, what's going on, guys? Because there was a maintenance person there. And she said, well, Johnny got violent last night, so I'm changing the locks on 1, 3, and 5. You don't have to worry about it. Your apartment's fine. Nobody's coming to talk to you. And he was like, huh? And she kept kind of pointing at her face. And he was like, there was nothing there. And instead of calling her, telling her, I told her maybe one side of her face is just more beautiful than the other, and it just outshined it, whatever, and went on. But So then when her lawyers come up there, she starts asking him, so did she have makeup on? He was like, I don't think so. And then she's like, do you know? Have you seen her with makeup on? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, I've seen her team come and get her ready when they got to do the carpet and this, that, and the other. And so this old bat lawyer of hers is like, um, do you know what Amica cream is? And I knew immediately this woman didn't know crap about what she was talking about. She kept saying over and over and over, did you see her put on Amica cream? Do you know she doesn't have it on? Do you know she didn't have pigments on and concealer on and foundation on and powders? Amica cream is not a thing. It's arnica cream. And it's one of these natural kind of things you can get it over the counter at any kind of drugstore. It makes bruises go away faster. It's kind of like Neosporin and a bruise reduction really quick. It has a tiny bit of pain reliever, but it disinfects and stuff. Elijah had a really bad bike accident on a gravel driveway when we lived in Oregon, and it cut up his hands. And we got some of that cream. Dean's cousin was a massage therapist and into all this natural oils and everything else. And she's like, go get that cream and put it on him. And so we did because he was only 5 at the time. So it was just so swollen. And we slathered that stuff on him and it didn't hurt and bandaged him up and it got better like really, really quick. So now we keep it. But, that woman is up there and she says Amica cream like 8 times and how he's such an idiot that he can't tell that she doesn't have it on. He doesn't need to be testifying or whatever. And she obviously could use some. But so she said, how do you know? Don't you think Amber knows how to put all that stuff on? She's an actress and a model. And he said, obviously not if she was paying people to come get her ready before she went on the red carpet. There were so many like little things like that everybody in the courtroom laughed. And you would look at Johnny Depp, and it was all he could do to keep it quiet. Most of the time, this guy was talking. He was just hilarious. He was so funny. He could do stand up because I don't think his crap was going to sell in an art gallery. Let's be honest. Oh, gosh. But anyway, so she was like later on towards the end of her cross examining him, she said, so you're mad at her, right? And he was like, oh, you hate her, right? And he was like, hate who? And she said, my client, Amber Heard. And he said, why? Why would I hate her? Or something. I don't hate anybody, I think is what he said. And he said, I had to tell her, oh, you mean like she's blaming him, making all this crap up and dragging him, making his life miserable? Yeah, I called her and told her I couldn't ever talk to her ever again because I guess she tried to stay friends with him or whatever. But he makes it into like this tirade, this like 5-minute rant. If she was going to ask him what he thought about Amber, he was going to tell her with every word he had. I mean, just went on. That is crazy. Johnny's the best guy. Why would she do this? Do that, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. But if you want some funny, domestic violence is not funny, but watch this guy. He could have given his address and been funny. The whole thing was hilarious. I watched it twice. It was so funny. I watched it twice. But there's some more later on in that day. This one was also funny. As Amber's ex personal assistant during all this time, she was subpoenaed, and you could tell she did not want to be there. She wasn't in the room. This was her deposition that was taped. She did not want to be there. She did not want to talk to them. She did not want to talk about talking about them. If you put her side by side, Emily Blunt's character in The Devil Wears Prada, that's her. That's her. She hates people. Like, I put it. You could tell she hates Amber. And when they ask her something, she was like, so what do you do? What was your title? She said, I did everything. What do you mean? She's like, you're going to make me list off every menial project I had to do with the spoiled princess or something like that. I mean, everything was like, that's just a stupid question. She don't answer it. So they get to, I think, towards the end of her deposition, okay? And all of a sudden, you start seeing behind the table where Amber and her lawyers are, the first row in the gallery is assistants of the prosecution or the defense team. I mean, the first row behind each team is assistants and stuff. Um, and so there's a lady in the first row, and she is Amber's friend. I don't know if she's become part of the defense team. I don't know. But she starts getting their attention, and both of her lawyers are turned around talking to this woman in the front row while this other woman's deposition is going. Riddle me that, Batman. So the judge keeps kind of looking, and then finally, when they turn back around, they say, I want to, they wanted to come to the bench. And so they turned on that noisemaker thing, and they talked for a few minutes, and they sat back down, and she had the jury leave. No. Yes, the jury was left. And she asked that woman that was doing the deposition woman, have you been watching this trial? And she said, yes. And then they had to strike everything that she had said. And the whole testimony has to be thrown out because she was watching clips of the trial afterwards. If you were a witness in a trial, you can't have what you usually after you testify, the judge will say if they've said that they can be turned over and they're no longer subpoenaed, they, usually it's family or something, they'll say you can stay in the courtroom if you'd like to, or you're free to go. Well, this woman had been watching the day before's stuff, and they completely took it all. Every word she said. There's no way that jury's not going to keep that in their mind, though, just the way that she hated her. I mean, she hated her. The way that she treated her was terrible. Terrible. She didn't know a lot about Johnny Depp, but so far, everything that they're putting up as his, defense, he's the prosecutor, I guess, at this point, but it doesn't look like he ever hurt her, and it's quite the opposite, actually. It's really sad. Really, really sad. And I get really, really pissed when women throw around domestic violence accusations when they've never been near it. It's so disrespectful for so many other people who can't come forward because they're terrified. So many cases of domestic violence that don't ever get reported. So it really, when you work with so many domestic victim survivors, however you want to call it, it's so aggravating to see somebody lie about it. So I think Johnny Depp's going to win, in my opinion. And I mean, obviously, it's not her time yet. She'll have her own witnesses to pull forward, but this has got to suck. Like as a juror in a trial, to have I can't do it. Two famous actors. I mean, if you're trying to sit there and read some body language, or listen to their depositions or their version of the story, they're professional actors. Like, what do you do with that? I don't know. I can't stand her. I don't like the roles that she chooses. Like, I didn't like her before this happened. She likes to play a ditzy blonde that'll screw anything that stands still long enough. I don't care for any of her roles, but oh, and then there's going to be more celebrity or more famous people that are subpoenaed to testify. Whether they'll be video depositions, I don't know. One of them was Elon Musk. She was cheating on when Johnny and her were still married. She was cheating on him with Elon Musk. And you want to say, why did somebody so dang smart get attached to that? I mean, ugh. I don't know how he held a conversation with the girl. I don't think she's very intelligent. But maybe that's not what he was looking for. Maybe he wanted somebody to be quiet. He talks to enough smart people all day. I don't know. But she's a gold digger, in my opinion. Um, can you imagine? I'm one of these really. I'm nerdy. I'm just really nerdy. I like to watch TED Talks every day. So Elon just did one a couple of days ago, or like probably Friday, I guess is when it came out. An interview down at his giga plant that he just built in Texas. It's getting ready to open. And so he has the worth ethic of a racehorse. I mean, it's constant. He only allows himself to sleep 6 hours a day. He hasn't taken a vacation in like 21 years. I don't know how he does it. He sleeps like that dude has more money than God, you know? Like you would think he would go home to these amazing houses and be waited on the hands and foot and take advantage of the money that he has, see the world, travel, relax, whatever. But he just has this drive and determination. I think he views any time that he takes away from his work, he's hurting humanity in the long run. And that's got to be extremely, I mean, I don't even know how else to put it. That's got to be extremely tiring. Like when you've done so much. I mean, there's not another electric car like a Tesla. There's just not. The way that geez, he gave Ukraine back internet after Russia cut him off because he's that good. Um, One time he donated billions. I don't remember what the actual number was. Billions, plural, to he wanted to stop world hunger. And the people made fun of him because he was like, "Yeah, you just fed the world for like 20 minutes," and he was like, "Well, that's 20 minutes they were hungry." Like it was that big of a deal. And so during this TED talk, it was an interview. It wasn't just him speaking. It was an interview, and the guy that was interviewing him asked, why don't you take more? I don't remember how he worded it. Why don't you take more breaks or go home and sleep on some good sheets and a good bed? He sleeps in a boardroom of a plant on a couch. Like, it's crazy. Um, and he was like, well, one day we kind of figured it out. An hour of talk is like $12 million worth of work for me. I think it was even higher than that. But it was like, then you sit there and you're like, the dude that's interviewing him for this TED talk should have felt really, really privileged that he got an hour of his time. He answers everything. Um, yeah, I just think I think he's great. Sold his own real estate in California, by the way, for sale by owner because he didn't want to pay a real estate agent. Sold it all. That ain't bad. I mean, talk about somebody that'll put their money where their mouth is. When he got mad about taxes and shutdowns and everything with COVID in California, he moved his happy tail to Texas, sold all of his stuff in California. I don't know. He seems to be pretty amazing. But apparently his that whole long tangent was just to say, I think he has bad choice in women. He's got like 6 kids. Did y'all know that? I didn't know he had all those kids. I thought he was married. I don't know. I guess you start to think of those people all the same. I kind of figured he was like Bill Gates or something, you know. But Elon and Johnny Musk apparently are somewhat of friends, but apparently he was more friends with Amber. So that'll be interesting. I'll be curious to see. You know, he's not going to be happy wasting the $12 million an hour talking on the stand. That's crazy. She promised all this, that she had pledged all this money to, um, I don't remember what charity it was, but when her and Johnny split, she ran out of money. Elon Musk paid it. That is how awful. How awful. Okay, so I talked about my health stuff. That's fine. Talked about the channel stuff. Talked a little bit about Daybells. Anthony Todt. And Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But anyway, just to kind of juxtapose, the Anthony Todt trial was 4 days. 4 days. Johnny Depp trial was on schedule for 6 weeks. In Virginia, of all places. I don't know why they went to Virginia, but there they are. Yeah, I can't stand Amber. I think she's awful. I need to go back. I was thinking about sending it to, the body language guys, the um, four guys that have the YouTube channel. You know what I'm talking about? That do all the body language stuff. Um, the, the behavior panel. That's what it's called. I'm telling you, COVID brain sucks. I wonder. I need to go back to their channel and see if they've ever talked about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard together or individually. That would be interesting. Yeah, the behavior panel. That would be interesting. I like what they say. I did a video on Caleb. The baby was Caleb, wasn't it? Oh, he was a junior. I guess the dad was Caleb too. Um, I think they were in Georgia. He said that the baby was missing, so they kidnapped the baby at a gas station, and they did this plea, in front of the police station. And I, I aired it here on my channel, and I broke it down, and I said, "This is a domestic violence problem here, here, and here. That's not what you want to see. If you see that person needs help." And, I broke that thing down, and then about 2 or 3 days later, maybe a week, the body, I keep want to say the body, whatever, the behavior panel did the same thing. And they said, they picked out more than I did. Obviously, I'm not a professional. I wasn't talking about, as much of the stuff that they were talking about. I said it was a red flag for domestic violence, and that wasn't part of it. But they had said all the things that I did. And so I felt kind of not as bad at this as I thought it was. They have a great channel, though. I watched the Alec Baldwin thing with them. That was really good. I'll be curious to see where that goes. Are any of you guys following that? Have you seen the family has a lawyer? The family of the director that was killed, her family got a lawyer and they're suing. They have a civil case. They hired a production company to come in, kind of like they do at a murder. Well, technically, I guess it is a murder scene, where they have the cameras and they do the 360 and then they can project it or whatever. So they did a reenactment of what happened. And that really changes the way that you look at that. I mean, in my brain, you hear shooting a movie and you think, oh, they're on a film set. They're in a sound stage, whatever. They were actually in this little bitty chapel. It wasn't made for, well, it might have been made for a movie, but like the front of it is not open. Like you can do a 360. It's a tiny little chapel. So when you see how close the director, the cinematographer, and the people, production assistants, the camera guy, how close Alec was, it's it's mind blowing how close he was for him to get out of there. Like even him saying he went outside and he just thought she fainted. He had to climb over somebody to get out that door. There's only one door in and out, the big chapel doors. And the crew was in the middle aisle. There's two sets of pews and, the altar and stuff and the choir or whatever. He had to have basically crawled over her or stepped over pews to get out the back door. There's no way he didn't know that she was shot. And I'm not believing for a freaking second that he says that he didn't fire that gun. I don't believe that at all. It's just not how it happens. It's just not. But you watch, he ain't gonna get in trouble. He ain't gonna get in trouble. Why? Because he's got money. The only thing they're going to get out of him is if they win that civil suit, and I think they will. They have a regular jury. I think in this day, like where we are culturally as a country, I think anybody they picked on a jury is going to look at him as a privileged, entitled celebrity who's not going to get away with it. I don't think they'll let him, I think his career's over unless he makes his own movies. He was he's one of the producers of the film. I mean, he's going to have to step up and cast himself in his own movies. I don't think Hollywood's going to mess with him much more. He's a awful person. I mean, they've had bad stories about him for years. There was a phone call that his daughter, she was like 13. I mean, when you say, yeah, she's a teenager, I'm not even talking about an older teenager. She was barely 13. And he called and cussed her up one side and down the other, and she recorded it, and she released it to the press. I mean, he's an awful parent anyway. And by the sounds of this, bad person. I don't know. I think John Pryor, Chad Daybell's lawyer, looks just like Alec Baldwin. I've said that a million times. If they ever make a movie, they ought to cast Alec Baldwin. Him and John Pryor could be brothers. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Alec Baldwin either. Never have been. So what did you guys think about the slap heard around the world at the Oscars? I was shocked. I was shocked that they let him stay. I was shocked that they let Chris Rock decide whether or not to press charges. In a lot of counties, that's not up to you. If a crime is committed, the town, county, whatever, will prosecute you as a menace to society for a lot of things, and assault is one of them. That was assault and battery on live TV, and then he won an Oscar. That's nuts to me. I think we're going to see a really ugly divorce pretty soon. I think, what a shocker, because I can remember 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, whenever they first got together, everybody said that they had the best marriage. They weren't the normal Hollywood couple. I can think of, I remember that picture. I don't know if it was at the Grammys or the Oscars. Will is on the red carpet, and then they're asking him what he's wearing, and all of a sudden he makes like this big K shape, down on one knee, and all he's doing is pointing at Jada. He's not even in the picture with her. He wants her to shine, and they did I don't know how many episodes of Oprah talking about what they think's important about marriage and all this other stuff. And right now, I mean, if you watch her show, is it on Facebook or is it on YouTube? I don't know. You can find it though. Anyway, she does the Red Table Talk, and it's her and her mom, her daughter Willow, and then sometimes, and they always have a guest or whatever. And sometimes Will comes on there, sometimes Jaden comes on there, or whatever. But when they start talking, she makes a point. I think she completely, in my opinion, he's he's abused. I think mentally she abuses him like nothing else. I think she makes it a point to do it on that show and it doesn't get edited and he doesn't know that it's coming. And I think that's why he did what he did. I think he tried to take up for Jada. I mean, for crying out loud, she had an affair with her son's best friend and then brought Will on her show to tell him. And then she wouldn't even admit that it was an affair. She called it an entanglement. Yeah, I guess if you get your legs wrapped up in the sheet good enough, that's what you can call it. But the look on, it was so awkward to watch. Just, I've never felt more sorry for a human being, I think. I mean, you could just see everything he ever thought about her, any good thought he had about her, just drained out of him. I mean, it was just so. And he's sitting there smiling. He's trying to keep it together. But I mean, you could just tell he's dying. Like Valentine's Day, she posts a picture of Tupac. It talks about how much she misses him. Her and Tupac were dating back before he got shot. Not her husband. Not her husband. That's crazy. And so now that this whole thing comes out, a lot of videos are surfacing where they had an episode where she tells everybody that she did not want to marry him. And it's crushing, and she blames it on her mom. I mean, she is sitting there, I did not want to get married. I was sick. I never wanted to be married. Our wedding day was the worst day of my life. I mean, it was, and I mean, how many times are you going to kick the puppy before it doesn't come back, It's so sad. It's so sad. And what does she get out of it? Like, what a crap person. And then she goes out there and says, I don't care what anybody thinks about my bald head. Well, you sure made your husband go up there and act like an idiot over it. Maybe you should have told him to chill out. I mean, whatever she elbowed him or whatever made him go up there, because when Chris Rock said the joke, they looked straight at him and he was laughing. So it wasn't his own volition. Oh, I'm going to have to go up there and smack somebody. It's not the first time he smacked somebody during an interview. And if you really want to look at it, he has done the same thing. He made fun of some bald guy on live television one time. Thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard of. He didn't all of a sudden want to defend his wife. I think he wants to try to get her back, because I don't think he wants to get another divorce, But you can't live like that. You can't. That's pitiful. And what kind of guilt trip is that to play on your mom? You made me marry him. You're the only reason we got married, and I hated it. People, life is too short. I think she thinks she has an open relationship. I do not think Will did. Now, there's rumors that him and Margot Robbie were messing around when they were filming Suicide Squad. I don't know. But they're at that point now. Their kids are all adults. I believe. I think Willow is 20, right? Somewhere around there. You know, I'd say all couples get to that one point. If it's a bad relationship, when you're no longer even, you don't even have the excuse of we're keeping it together for the kids. When that house is empty, I think it'll be I don't know. I I could see him getting a place by himself somewhere and not doing celebrity business anymore. Just that I felt bad. I felt bad for Chris Rock. I mean, it wasn't that bad of a joke, you know. She shaved her head. She's not the how many freaking supermodels have shaved heads? I can't say that the girl's name just completely flitted out in my head. Beautiful black supermodel. She has the darkest skin I've ever seen in my life. And she shaves her head all the time. I can't think of what is her name. Anyway, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't. How stupid. But then I felt really mad about the producers of the Oscars. You know, they don't have any kind of morals whatsoever. Sharon Tate, the woman that um, Manson killed, um, her husband, I can't think of his name now. Anyway, he was a director, he or an actor, and he was found guilty here of sexually abusing a child. I don't mean she was 17. It was a child. And he jumped on a plane and went to France. He lives in Paris, and they won't extradite him here. He's supposed to be in prison, and he won a couple of Oscars. Still working. Still working. Yeah, Roman Polanski. That's it. Did he do the movie Rosemary's Baby? I don't know. I think the movie that he won the Oscar for, wasn't it The Pianist? And he got on a private jet and went to France so they wouldn't extradite him, so he'd have to go to prison. Yeah, Roman Polanski. Okay. I don't know, guys. We talked about everything. What are y'all doing? Anything interesting? I need to check and see when the Daybells go back to court, see what else I missed. But a couple of people on Discord posted some new pictures of her. Boy, she needs some Botox, collagen. People think she's paying a lot of money for her hair, but a lot of people forget she owned her own salon. She is a hairdresser, so granted, somebody gave her the money to do what she knew she needed to do. She probably did it in jail. Um, I hate talking about them. I do. I hate it. I don't think we're going to see that trial anytime soon. And gosh, it's just got so many people tore up. What is wrong with people? Just get a divorce, you know? Get a divorce. Send your kids where they're wanted, you know? I can't imagine that Kay and Larry would not be in the prime of their life right now if they'd had JJ. And she could have hopped her butt on a plane to Hawaii same day. And why all this carnage? I don't get it. So many people. That trial will have a medical examiner, and that is going to hurt jurors and anybody in the gallery. That's going to be bad. I still think I think Chad's not wanting her to use the last name Daybell. I've said for a while now, I think Chad was going to file for a divorce and flip on her. Maybe they're waiting to see if she's going to try to take a deal and if she will use spousal immunity. I mean, it doesn't really help because it doesn't apply to crimes against children anyway, but um, I don't know. I think Chad Daybell will file for divorce. And maybe since they've said they won't split their trials, he might think that's another way that maybe they'll have to reconsider is if he divorces her. And I think he'll flip. I think Chad knows he's not made for prison. I don't know. Oh, is it tomorrow? Oh, that's right, it is. Well, if I'm up and ready, did they say they were gonna show it, stream it? Say I could probably jump on there and stream it if it's on the judge's website. I don't know. I think if anybody is gonna flip, I think it's Chad. I think Chad will flip to not be put to death. I think as stubborn as Lori is, I don't think she can bring herself to do it. I don't. She'll claim she's innocent long after she goes to prison. I think she likes being the martyr. No stream. Okay. Eastside News has it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure when they have those things, I think they are just private. I'm sure Kay and Larry will be given the option of seeing it, you know. Whatever happens, whatever they get back to them, I'm sure Kreischer will put it on her channel. I haven't talked to her in a while. I need to. She is such a sweet person. She's sweet. What else is going on? Um, I need to get caught back up with the Delphi thing. Has anything come out? I know there's things being released about this guy that was arrested for something else, but I haven't seen anybody say it's not him. Like that one guy that got arrested for kidnapping the neighbor, the little girl, and they said, "Oh, we're going to look at him for the Delphi thing." The family came out really quick and said, "Yeah, that's not him." But this other guy, it seems to be maybe some new life going. God, that would be so good to get that closed out. That would be, I mean, not just for her family, but that community. Because, they always wonder, is he still here? Or they, or, whatever. I think it's just one, but that's got to be hard as a little, Midwestern community. What other, I've not, oh, you guys, I haven't seen anything else come out about Monkey Michael out in Idaho from Fruitland, Idaho. Is that the name of it? I haven't seen any kind of news on that. He's still missing. The stuff with Summer Wells just seems to be getting. I think Summer Wells is the new Chris Watts case. Dear God, let them close this case because it's crazy. I'll be honest, I think I've watched 2 videos since I came out of the coma about Summer, and it was just so crazy. I was like, I can't even. I know there's people are talking about the interview room. Did a couple of videos about some guy. I guess they interviewed somebody. I have no idea who it is. I will pay attention again when somebody gets arrested. That little girl is gone. I can't figure it out in my head. Like, I really thought her parents were innocent to begin with. Not that they were innocent. I didn't think they were guilty. Like, I would put it that way. But it's gotten so stupid and just on and on and on. You can't even get caught up. It's all drama. I mean, it's just all crazy. So sad. I mean, it amazes me with all the cameras and everything that we have everywhere, dash cams, doorbell cams, CCTV everywhere. It just blows my mind when somebody just vanishes without a trace, just gone. Karen, you're talking about Michael Vaughn. See, I remember the name that time. My memory, like, my husband has an awful memory. I mean, awful. He could still be eating breakfast, and you could ask him what he ate for breakfast, and he wouldn't know. He could still be chewing. So he came to me probably a week and a half ago. I don't know what triggered it. And he was like, don't get mad, which is when your motor starts, with your wife. Don't get mad. It's like, oh, what did you do? What did you do? And he said, have you noticed do you notice that you ask the same things and you don't remember that you just did it? Or you don't remember? I've been awful. Lately, it's been my medicine. I'm having to make somebody, one of the boys or Dan, whoever is home with me, give me my medicine because I cannot trust myself to not forget it or to take it twice. And I take insulin. So, and I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to tell him yet because now every fight that I've ever won in my life, he's going to tell me the other way. We fight about stuff all the time. Not really, but Dan thinks he remembers stuff, and I'm like, I remember everything. You don't remember crap. Why are you arguing with me? Arguing with who about this? I've been forgetting a lot of things. The scariest thing is the medicine, though, because that can really, that's not good. I'm trying to read it. Like, oh, why am I not looking at this? Good Lord. Well, whatever that was, it's not a good one. I got a bigger tablet. That's another reason I didn't get. What is on upstate New York? New York mom stabbed 50 times and carried out of her house in a hockey bag. My word. My goodness. That's awful. Another case I haven't heard anything about the same daggone time Daybells and Anthony Todt happened. All of they are always in these clusters and they're horrific. And that's Michael Wayne Jones. And some of y'all remember Michael Jones Jr. killed his 4 kids and drove around in a Cadillac Escalade with their bodies for days. Didn't kill his ex-wife was remarried and somewhere else. That trial was horrendous. That was such a gut punch. So that was Michael Jones Jr. Yeah. Why does that not sound right now? Tim Jones Jr., not Michael. And then we got Michael Wayne Jones. And he's another one drove around with his wife and kids in the car for days. It's like, how does that happen? They don't know about the other person. Like, that's crazy. That is super crazy. But I haven't heard anything on that lately. I probably need to go look that one up. He crossed over the state line, so I'm trying to even remember. Uh, Tim Jones was in North Carolina or South Carolina. I don't remember. Um, this one, his wife's name was Casey, and he beat her with a baseball bat and then killed their kids. He actually went. Some of the kids weren't his. That's the weird one. Those kids were with their dad, and he went and picked them up and killed them. Like, why wouldn't you just leave them? And this whole time, he's talking to his ex-wife, and they're getting back together. And she lied to police about when she saw him, when she saw the kids. It's a narcissist playground, that case, but it happened all around the same time. So I need to go see, now that courts are opening up for out of COVID and stuff. I need to see where that case is at, because that one's going to be a big one. Um, it's a death penalty case. I think they already decided that, if I remember right. So we still got Letitia. Did they ever announce if they were going to make that a death penalty case? Colorado put the moratorium up, but she was still, her crime was before the cutoff date, so they could still charge. It could still be a death penalty case, but I don't know. I think they already had to have filed it. I covered that up until I left for COVID. I should probably go look at my own dating videos, find my own answers. I don't remember half of that stuff, guys. What else is? Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Caleb, the little baby I was talking about earlier, domestic violence thing. I wonder where they're at with that. COVID just really screwed the justice system. It's so weird to see the cases that go to the wayside and then cases that have happened during COVID that have already gone through. Is amazing to me. I mean, not to be political or anything, but yeah, the cases in Minnesota, those went by in what, 9 months? It's crazy. And the Arbery case, down in Georgia, that's already come and gone. It's crazy. Oh, Karen, that's nice. Try to be back. I think I'm. Oh, there was something I was going to talk about. So, my husband's schedule rotates, so I can't plan anything on his schedule. Two of my kids have jobs. The third one's getting ready to start one. So I'm not home very much by myself, just because everything that's wrong. My mom only lives like 5 minutes down the road. But with the schedules this past month have been stupid. People will not keep a job here. I don't know why. So Xander has been working crazy hours. Noah's 17 next month. His last paycheck, they get paid every other Friday, right? His last paycheck, he had 111 hours. School was still in session. It was not spring break. I mean, that kid's got 1 day off a week. They're calling him all the time. People aren't coming in, not showing up, work for a day or two and quit. I mean, it beats all I ever saw. We've had to tell, like, sometimes he gets home so late. Luckily, the school that he goes to, you can choose to do it at home and stream it. So if you're sick or whatever, you can watch the class and do the homework and stuff because the way COVID is. So there have been so many days that he just didn't get in the bed until 1 or 2 in the morning. And so, I've had to say, I love that you're a hard worker and I'm very proud of you, but you need to learn at this age some healthy boundaries and not to be a workaholic. And until you can do that on your own, that's probably going to be a decision that I have to make for you, which is not good. Not good. So, anyway, so Xander's schedule changed. The restaurant used to close early on Sunday, and now they've decided that they're just going to close on Monday completely. And that way they can get their deliveries that day and get prepped and everything that needs to happen without having to worry about what's going on in the dining room. So Xander will always have Mondays off now. So I'm probably going to start doing these hearsay things on Mondays instead of Sundays because it just doesn't make any sense. Um, the second part to that is Xander's moving to Texas the 1st of July, not like July 1st, but the first week or so. And the boys all have their own rooms anyway. Two are upstairs, Xander's down here with me. Um, so I've decided since Dan works night shift, and a lot of what I can do is my computer is in my room. And if he's asleep, I can't turn on lights. I can't record stuff. And it's not that I'm waking him up, it's because he snores so dang loud and I can't get it out. And not only does he snore, Ginger snores. And if Dan is in here, Ginger is in here. So I'm going to take Xander's room and turn it into an office, a new film space, so I can go and work and get out of this room. And it won't matter if Dan is asleep, and I can hook up whatever lights I got to do. So that's coming soonish, which is kind of fun because I get to decorate. And since it's my office, Dan doesn't have a say in it. So I'm going to make me a Disney room. So put my Minnie Mouse ears up on the wall and some stuff and whatever. So that's coming down the pike, which should make this easier, you know. I told you guys my physical therapy was canceled, so I'm not walking still. Not fun. I'm used to it at this point. What else is going on? Mom and Dad are going to go back to Panama. They've decided to get their citizenship. That was always the plan. They were going to go for X amount of months, and you have to have stayed in the country so long before you can apply for citizenship. So they were there long enough, and now they've got to go to DC for something. I don't remember. And then they're going to go back to Panama sometime. I don't know. It's going to be a year, you know. Noah is going to be 17 next month. Noah and JJ have the same birthday. It's crazy. But I remember when all those charges got filed on JJ's birthday last year, and it was Noah's birthday. So my last year with Noah is coming up. Xander just had his 19th birthday. He's working and saving his money, and he's going to go to Texas in July and become a resident to go to college there. So that's what's going on around here. So Noah is going to, he got offered this was something my school never did, but um, I really like the school here. They are taking kids to Europe. They give you a year's notice. You have to be nominated. Your grades have to be X amount or whatever. And it's not cheap, but it's dang cheaper than if you bought your own stuff. They're going as a group. So it's like 5 weeks in Europe. They fly to England and do a bunch of stuff over there. And then they take a train to Paris, do some stuff over there, and then go to Italy. And something about they're taking a boat back. So they leave from here in Tennessee to New York to London, Paris. I don't remember where all they're. I know they're going to Rome, and then the trip back is by boat, and then flying back to Tennessee. But it's amazing. So it's 5 or 6 weeks. That includes their meals, the attractions, all the museums and stuff that they go to. Everything is inclusive except if they want to do extra stuff, you know. Um, so it was $1,700 or something, I think. And I was like, I will knock you out and go by myself. They're going to get to go. One of the add-on things, um, they're going to get to go to Disneyland Paris, and I'm so jealous. I said, if you come back to this house and you did not buy your mama something from Disneyland Paris and some daggone macaroons from Lottery or whatever it's called in Paris, I said, don't come on. But it's an amazing trip. And so since he's been working like crazy, he's already made a pretty, they divide it up into payments. They have to agree that they're going to go, you know, he's got to get his passport and crap. So, but my goodness, you talk about the trip of a lifetime. He is so excited to be going. He talks about it all the time. I keep putting my elbows on this desk and it hurts. I keep thinking there's something else I was going to tell you guys, and then I don't remember what it is. So Elijah's getting a job for the summer. He's playing football. Under Armour sponsors them, this county, because they're good. So none of the kids that play football have to pay for anything. Under Armour gives them shoes, uniforms, workout clothes, the whole shebang. Pays for all their travel, for away games, all kinds of stuff. So Elijah played really good in middle school, and so he's going to be a freshman next year. So he's been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go in, and they do weights and cardio and stuff before school starts. I'm sorry, I know. If you see me running, I'm in a wheelchair, you don't see me running. But in the event you see me ever run, you had better believe there's somebody chasing me. And I just have to be faster than the back person, that's all. But it's such a cool trip. Noah's really looking forward to it. Yeah. So that's what's going on with me. Gonna try to make some actual videos this week. Get back in the swing of things. My depression is getting better. It's not going away, but I think I'm being healthier in the way I react to it. I don't know. It's there, but everybody's depressed. The past 2 years have been awful. You know, so quit complaining about it. That's what I'm telling myself. You know, I don't know. So anyway, I about said it was Sunday, but it is Monday, and we have been on here for an hour and 50 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys, because I know some of you are across the pond and it is super late. I'm going to get in here and see what my husband decided to do for dinner. I think he's making biscuits and gravy. Every once in a while, we like to do breakfast for dinner because we're Southern. And then you make really good bacon in the oven, and then you get really good beefsteak tomatoes and put that gravy on top of it. And the angels sing, you know? Yeah, I love it. I love it. We had something. Oh, my husband got me, like, I love Krispy Kreme donuts, okay? I love them. They're local to here, so they're in the grocery stores, and the gas stations have them too that are delivered every morning. And since I never leave my house, I say, I just want one. Just bring me one. And so he brought it home, and I'm like, and I ate it, and I'm like, what kind of donut was that? And he said, well, it was raspberry. Was it not raspberry? And I'm like, yeah, but it's a donut, and it's got the chocolate frosting on the top. The middle, I think the person got distracted and forgot what they were doing. They stuffed half of it with the raspberry jam stuff, and the other half was Bavarian cream, like it was a Boston cake donut. But it was so good because it wasn't that cream like that's in the Twinkie. I don't even know what they call that, but that is too sweet and I don't like it. But the Bavarian cream is almost like a custardy pudding or whatever. And so it really balanced out how sweet the raspberry was, borderline tart. It just made it really creamy. And now I'm like, you go back and get me another one of them donuts. And so he went back and he's like, I need some of those Boston cream raspberry donuts you're making. They were like, what are you talking about? It was a complete fluke. And that's how I know Jesus loves me, because I got that donut and it was amazing. Like I tell the boys, Jesus loves you, but I'm his favorite. So, anyway, I'm going to get off here, guys. Go get you a Krispy Kreme donut or dinner or go to bed because it's way past your bedtime or too early in the morning. I don't even know anymore. But thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys real soon. I'm going to turn this off now. Wait, yep, that's it. Bye, guys.